Welcome back to episode 149 of Tall Boy Radio. Now, we've got a treat for you tonight. We've got a guest who has been clearing out his garage. He wasn't expected to be with us because of the mammoth task which faced him, but he's here, God bless him. And we're going to be talking about one of Gaz's favourite expressions. So, without further ado, let's say hello to Gaz and find out what he's drinking this week.
Evening, guys. Looking forward to this one. If you did join us for last week's World Cup episode, then I'm glad you're still with us. And this week I am drinking a Brewdog Triple Hazy New England IPA, which is there you go. Look at 9.5%, and genuine CBR merch.
Very nice.
Cast glass. There you go, one of the original glasses. There you go. And just in case that goes, which it probably will, I'm just on a standard Moretti. There you go. So looking forward to this. Love this. Love the title of the episode. Obviously, more will be revealed later, but looking forward to it.
Indeed. David?
Hi, chaps. Hello, everyone, listeners. Yeah, as Adam says, I've had a bit of a busy day. I didn't think I was going to make it. Didn't actually get any beer, so I've just had a look at what I've got around. It's a bit sad. I've got a Beck's Blue. Oh, you can't see it. A Beck's Blue, which is alcohol-free. I then found something called a Solo alcohol-free Pilsner, but Catherine tells me it's a year out of date. And then I found Catherine pointed me to this premium cider Koppenberg, which I think is quite. I've had it before. That's quite nice. So I think I'm gonna go for the Beck's Blue to start with, and then I'll decide on the others.
Probably give the one a year out of date a little bit of a swerve would be my advice for you.
Yeah, alcohol-free and a year out of date. It's not got a lot going for it, has it?
It really has. I don't know what you've got in your calendar tomorrow, but if you're going to drink that, I will clear it. Just like it will do to your bowels.
I was literally about to say that, yeah.
So, what the fudge? What the fudge is what the fudge about? Well, we just want to share some interesting facts and fun stuff that we can chat about. So, I've got 20 facts in the shape of questions that we're going to be asking these guys and getting their opinion and having a little bit of a chat about it. So it's a well-known fact that we Brits love a quiz, and the three of us do love a quiz, don't we? So Dave, just quickly, how would you describe Gaz as a quiz mate?
He knows a lot more answers than I do, that's for sure.
Gaz, how would you describe Dave?
Fucking useless. I have got a question though, Ad.
Go on. What am I drinking?
What are you drinking?
I know, I just realised that, dude. And I must admit, it's probably because I told you before, I'm not a big fan of this beer already before. So it's a crossover beer that Salt have done with 7 Clean Seas, and it's called The Final Straw. It is an ocean-saving pale ale. So get along to their website, have a look, www.7cleanseas.com, and have a look. What they're doing is clearing up the ocean. For every pack of this beer you buy, they donate some money to help get some stuff out of the ocean. So it's a really, really good charity. It's very valid. It's not my favourite salt beer, though, if I'm going to be really honest. But 5% pale ale, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So what do they have to go out the ocean? Fish?
I'm guessing straws, given the name. Final straws. Yeah, no. More plastic. I think the fish are okay where they are for the most part.
They might struggle out the sea.
Yeah, they tend not to do so well on land. So we'll start off then. Question one, okay? How did the Apollo 11 crew ensure their family's financial security in case they didn't come back?
Okay.
Is that the one that did come back? That they fixed with a paperclip or something?
No, that was Apollo 13. Apollo 11 is the very famous one that landed on the moon.
I refer you to my comment earlier about Dave and quizzing.
Took approximately about 40 seconds to prove that.
So that wasn't the one with Tom Hanks in the film then?
No.
Apollo
11 is the very famous first one on the moon. Neil Armstrong,
okay,
Buzz Aldrin, and the other fella.
Did they take out some form of insurance based on them being stuck on the moon?
No, they did something rather unique. So it's for that. I can see where you're coming from. Sorry, let's give you a quick.
Oh, here we go.
There's going to be a lot of that tonight.
Oh, there's going to be plenty of that, don't you worry. So, no, they didn't.
IRS, something to do with that?
No. What they did,
Okay.
if you think about it, so we're talking astronauts, so they signed autographs. So if they were to perish while up there, they left a very small batch of autographs which their families could then sell on and make some money and hopefully secure their future. The good news is they actually came back. But if you were lucky to have one of those autographs now, they're going for around about $30,000 at auction. So, yeah.
And
so
if
it would have worked.
It'd have been a lot more, of course. If they'd have died, it'd have been a lot more.
I know. What a foolish financial investment there that they made by continuing to live.
I bet the wives weren't happy.
Question for another day, that one day.
I just thought actually, because Gaz is good at quizzes, but he just cheat a lot. You haven't got your phone there, have you, Gaz? There we go.
If Gaz,
but it's not on. It's not.
No. You only have to look in the reflection of Gaz's glasses, by the way, when you're watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see normally sport reflected in those glasses because he has his TV on in the background. So if he's not,
let me turn my TV off.
That does look like a game of football in the background, Gaz.
You see it every week.
TV's off.
I was editing the video last week, I think it was. I was like, why do his glasses keep glowing green? Oh, of course, yeah.
Right, you'll be pleased to know now. The reflection should have gone. TV's off. There you go. Happy days.
Question number 2 then. Why were tea bags invented?
Okay. Well, the obvious answer is that loose tea just made a mess. Clearly not right.
Correct, but loose tea used to go in those little metal strainer things. You dipped in your tea, so it does make a mess, but not if you do it like that.
So they could sell it. God, you get less tea in a box if you put it in tea bags.
You're close, actually, when it comes to sales. So if you wanted someone to try your tea, what is a way you could get people on board?
Get them to buy one tea bag rather than a big box of loose tea.
Close. Free samples. So they sent out free samples. So this fella, his name was Thomas Sullivan, and in 1908, he sent out samples of his tea for people to try, and he put them in little muslin bags. And people wrongly assumed that when they got it, well, I'll just use that in my hot water, as I understand it's used to make tea. So they put that the little muslin bag in instead of putting it into the tea strainer, which is what he had intended. He just portioned out little single portions for them to try, and people just wrongly assumed that that's what they were for, and hence the tea bag was born.
I wonder how it went. I wonder how that made that jump from people at home trying it to getting back to him. Did he like patent it or anything?
Well, I'm assuming so. He must have done afterwards, although.
Yeah, there must have been some feedback saying, "Oh, those bags were really good. Like, we could drink the tea without getting all the sort of, the tea leaves all over the place, and it was dead easy." And he's maybe cottoned on and thought, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. What else was invented that day then? Tea bagging.
Tearing. Oh dear.
Oh, I tell you what, this little bit of equipment will pay for itself in no time. So, to question 3. So obviously I'm drinking an environmentally friendly beer here in terms of helping to clear the ocean of plastic. How much better for the environment are paper bags than plastic? And how would you put a figure on that?
How much better? I would infinitely better. Almost infinitely better.
All right, I'm going to go on the completely other side of the continuum and say actually not at all.
There we go. There we go. He's well. This
I
is
couldn't
the thing.
be more wrong then, basically.
No, as is often the case when we do a quiz. So the thing is, you see, the way I would view this episode would be like a shit episode of QI.
You're saying I'm no Stephen Fry?
I'm saying none of us are Stephen Fry. I think that's a good thing. I don't know.
So you must have an explanation as to why, because obviously a lot of our listeners will think, sure, like Dave, obviously, surely, plastic bags are infinitely more destructive to the planet than paper bags. So
Yeah. Well, as it just so happens, the production of paper bags emits 70% more pollution, uses 4 times as much energy, and they take longer to break down than their plastic cousins,
you
believe it
see
or not.
that's weird, isn't it? Because you talk about, is it, what do they call it? Is it half-life or whatever it's called? Is it like a period of time that it takes for bags to biodegrade or whatever it's called? And
Yeah.
you just make an assumption that from everything that you've heard that, you know, in 1,000 years' time, you're still going to get all the plastic bags in the sea or wherever because they don't biodegrade or whatever. So that
Well,
you sort of
yeah, this is true, but I think one of the things that supermarkets looked at was a biodegradable option, so that the bags that you originally bought weren't so bad. I mean, what about bags for life? I haven't got any answers on this one, but does that strike you as just a little bit of money making there? Because I don't see how it stops you from using them. You just get there, realize you forgot to bring it with you, and end up spending 30p on another one.
And it doesn't last for life anyway. They just fall apart.
Well, this is true. Although I think the idea of a bag for life is once it's knackered, you take it back and they'll replace it for free.
Really?
Yeah.
I might go around collecting them.
It's selling them outside the supermarket for 20p. Like a tramp.
they've got a niche market there. What are we? I'm gonna go and collect up all the bags for life that are knackered.
You see, guys, this is why he's got his own business and we haven't.
You see, he is switched on. I'll give him that. He is switched on.
He's more switched on than us, and that's not necessarily a compliment.
It's a low bar, to be fair.
It is a very low bar. So, in the UK, we've got a topical one now.
This question 4.
This is question 4, yeah.
Right,
question 4 is topical. It's topical. In the UK, what is the average age of someone who has died from COVID-19 compared to the average age of someone who has perished from not having COVID-19?
Died of COVID or with COVID?
I have either figures. You can give either.
Died of COVID, average age is going to be quite high. I'm going to say died of COVID, I'm going to say 68, with COVID, 32.
I pressed the wrong button, sorry. Sorry, I couldn't resist. No. So that's what I would have thought. What about yourself, Gaza?
Died of COVID, 28. Died with COVID, 72.
No. And this is the interesting fact here. So, and this is from the UK Office of Statistics, okay? So the average age of someone who died and that death involved COVID, 80.4. Yeah. The average age of someone who died of COVID, 80.2. And the average age of someone who's just perished, 80.6. So no, I've got that the wrong way around. 80.6 is I've died of COVID. 80.2 is to have died of other causes. So in all, there's not much of a difference is the honest answer. But what that would imply, I would suggest, is those who have perished for the most part were in the latter stages of their life.
Yeah.
So yeah, but ironically, the average age of someone who has died with or of COVID is higher than the average age of someone who's just simply perished.
But more or less, all three figures are the same. Pretty
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it's not a game changer. Do you know what I mean? It's not a game changer in any single way. But draw from we're not drawing any conclusions from that. We're just saying it's not what you would expect given the information that's out there.
No,
No.
not at all. Clearly, as I was so wrong yet again.
Indeed, we won't be putting that in our notes because we don't get flagged again. Right, here's a question for you. Question 5. So my cousin Joe, which I believe you've both met.
Yeah.
He probably just doesn't remember, but I'm pretty sure he will have done.
Yeah,
Kids'
you're
christenings
absolutely
and
right.
what have you. Yeah. He's got twin girls, Rosa and Clara. Years from now, they have children. Okay, we're looking at the future. What relation would a DNA test show those children to be to each other?
The twins' children's.
Twins, child, and child.
All right, I'll go for the obvious one, just to go sisters.
It's correct.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
that's very.
You would think, but you would think cousins initially, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That the obvious answer would be, so for example, myself and Sid, we both have kids, and they are cousins and such. But if me and Sid were twins, and we had then obviously DNA wise, then they would be. I was going to say something like half sister or something, but I'm not quite sure how that would work. But yeah,
no. Well, think about it though. Think about your own kids. They've got two different parents that aren't genetically related.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did a DNA test on your kids, it would show that they're sisters. So you take the next generation down. It's the same principle, isn't it?
If I did a DNA test on my son and daughter, it would show that they were siblings. Is that what you're telling us? Is this the outlandish? This is the outlandish remark.
No. Yes, but then if you to go down a generation, then
right here on Tall Boy Radio.
Okay.
I know what I'm trying to say, and the listeners know what I'm trying to say. They're with me, or they're rooting for me. I can hear them banging the table and rooting for me.
they are rooting for you, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's just clearly not the case, because the cousins, unless their parents are twins, then actually legally they are cousins. So
this is it. So for a legal purpose, yes, they are cousins, because they're the offspring of your sibling. Your offspring. Oh God, you've got me confused. Your child, my children, they're the offspring of my brother. They are cousins. Now, if Mark and I, as Gaz said, or John and I were to be twins, then they would still be cousins. However, because identical twins share exactly the same DNA pattern, to round about 100%. It's not exactly 100%, funnily enough, but it's pretty damn close. Or maybe it is 100, I forget. But the bottom line is that, it would give them Then here's a question for you, and I haven't got an answer for it, but this would be interesting to hear Dave's opinion of it. So, two identical twins marry two identical twins.
That's happened.
And and then they have children. What would that show?
What the fudge?
What the fudge would that show as a DNA test?
Well, they'd still be brothers and sisters, wouldn't they?
Well, yes, or would they indeed show as identical? Because identical parents produce an offspring, so they've got the same DNA mix. Although, would it be a different mix of that? Because
would there be a different combination? Because would one be? Would the offspring take? Would one of the offspring take perhaps, let's say, the left-handed characteristic of a mother and the right-handed characteristic of the father, and then the other offspring might be switched around? I don't know. Not sure.
Well, you don't know, but you laughed at me when I didn't know, didn't you?
We laughed at you, Dave, because you said my children are brother and sister.
No, but that was just explaining the way that the genetics works.
I'm almost certain, though,
that everybody got that. Sorry, Dave, Gav.
Because I vaguely remember reading somewhere that there was a effectively what we've just said, a set of identical twins that grew up, and they then married a pair of identical twins, and obviously then they and I can't remember it. I don't remember in what context I was reading it. It probably popped up on like social media or something, and I just thought, oh wow, that's pretty weird. But then I suppose you extrapolate that and think, well, what would their kids be like? And taking the logic that you've just mentioned, that they would be identical, their DNA would be identical, wouldn't they? So if you've got the identical DNA to somebody,
but the blend could be different. So the blend of your mother's and your father's DNA can be different. So if you think about it, John and I have the same DNA that's gone into us. Obviously, we both have the same mother and father. However, the blend is different, and we matched around about 50%. I forget what the exact figure is. Around about 50%. Yeah. Listen, if anybody out there is listening and knows the answer to that question, you haven't turned off this episode yet. Email it. Email it. And,
Well done.
Yeah, well done. First of all, well done. What are you thinking of? But second of all, email in and we'll send some kind of prize out if you can answer that correctly. It doesn't even have to be correct, bro. It just needs to be believable.
The most plausible answer.
Yeah, the most feasible answer wins. Dave, don't bother replying. So here's question number 6. I know Dave likes his wrestling and he's wishing he would have joined the football episode now instead. Question number 6. Who is arguably the most famous of all the wrestlers in the Wrestling Hall of Fame?
Big Daddy.
The American Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. Can I say the
obvious? Go on then, Dave. You go first.
I'll go for the obvious answer then. Hulk Hogan.
I'll give you a clue. He was 6'4". Hulk Hogan. He's tallest. He's actually Hulk Hogan is 6'4" now due to back operations. Hulk Hogan in his time was 6'7", but this guy 6'4".
I think you just, obviously I don't have that detail. I mean, you're telling me the height of somebody after their back operation. I can't even name people.
Right. Do I know this person, Ad?
Yes, you both will know this person. Do you want me to give you his win ratio?
Yeah.
299 wins out of 300.
Did he lose his first or his last one?
I don't know.
See, the guy that I would think of is taller than that.
Go on.
And I've definitely heard of him.
You 100% will have heard of him.
Thunderpants.
Pardon?
Thunderpants. I'm just saying random words now.
Thunderpants. Are you thinking of Thunder Lips?
If that was a wrestler, yeah, exactly.
Well, he was in Rocky, and he was played by Hulk Hogan. So
there you go. I don't
suppose you've got his walk-on music there, have you, dude?
I haven't got his walk-up music, but I can give you a final clue if it helps.
Yes, please.
He was the president of the USA at one point.
Lyndon, somebody.
Hey, guys, I'll give you a point if you just name a president of the stage.
Roosevelt. Trump. Obama. Clinton.
Reagan.
So he was 6'4". So think of a very tall president. Who's the tallest president?
I don't know. Who was the one that was shot? Kennedy.
He was shot, but not Kennedy. He was shot on the same day as Kennedy, 100 years before, actually.
So now, okay, right. That makes it so much easier.
He was shot by John Wilkes Booth, for anybody who knows their history.
Actually, that name rings a bell.
I don't know. I can't think back. History was a long time ago.
Was it 77 years ago?
Really? Was it him?
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln.
Really? Abraham Lincoln? No way.
Yeah. Did I not say Lincoln?
You said just about everybody else, but no, you didn't. Yeah, including people who weren't presidents.
Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah. That's utterly bizarre. Yeah, but he was, before, obviously, he was president, he was a wrestler. He's not going to do it afterwards, obviously, because of how it ended, but I apologise for that joke. It was inappropriate.
Right. I'm going to sound stupid now.
Do you want me to say
it? I'll text you, then you No, was it the only reason was that I watched a Wales game, football game in the World Cup, and obviously I mentioned that last week, but I'm sure they said that Abraham Lincoln's great grandfather was Welsh or something like that.
You might be right, yeah. But if you think about it, and this is interesting, obviously I've got American lineage in my family. And when you do a DNA test, knowing that, you've got to keep in mind that all those people who are in the USA now, unless, like myself, where you have Cherokee heritage or other Native American heritage, it's going to go back to the different European countries that people migrated there from in the 1600s, when it, or whenever it was that the ships went over there, maybe a little earlier, but certainly when they settled there, it was a country settled by Europeans, and Brits and Irish as well. So yeah, he may very well have had Welsh lineage in his family. I certainly wouldn't be surprised for that to be the case.
I'm sure when Wales were playing, they mentioned that Wales had given America, and they were going on about various people in Hollywood, and then they said, and they've also given them like 2 or 3 presidents, and they said Abraham Lincoln's like great grandfather or great grandfather was Welsh or something like that. So he's something you hear from, you're just like, oh, and he just sticks in. So whether it was him or they're talking about another American president, but I'm sure it was him. Obviously, again, I might be wrong there, but
if we go back and listen to last week's, we'll find out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll no doubt have that information last week. We just can't recall it right about now. So, question number 7: the moon gets 1.48 inches further away each year, and it is currently 250,000 miles away as we speak. How close was it when it was formed?
Very.
It was closer. I'll give you that one.
It bounced off the Earth, didn't it?
God. I'm going to suggest probably not, no, because we all know from when we had Ken on that the Earth is hollow. So not the Earth, sorry, the moon is hollow. So surely.
Well, that bounced like a football then.
No, it wouldn't. The moon probably isn't hollow in all likelihood, and were it to hit the Earth, it would be a little bit more devastating than you're predicting.
Might just have been a glancing blow.
It could have been, but I still think that would be quite impactful.
I'm sort of, I don't know. So is it on an elliptical? Yeah,
so it's slowly moving further away. Yeah. I'll tell you, because you're never going to guess it, but it's 40 at the time. It was 14,000 miles away. Its point of formation, which still seems a long way away, but considering its distance now, can you imagine looking up to the sky and seeing how big that would look?
Well, it's been 14,000 miles. So what's that?
About the circumference of the Earth, around about that number.
No,
I think is that around about 9,000.
I don't know.
There you go. Email us if you made it this far. We'll double your money.
No, I'm sure, because how far away is like Australia or whatever? I'm sure that's like thousands of miles away, isn't it?
40,000 kilometres.
What's that?
Circumference of the Earth.
40,000. Well, 40,000 would be about 34.
Don't know.
Yeah, it was close. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's pretty close. So, question number 8 then. So, Tiddy and Shiner, quick shout out to them as well, because they're starting their new podcast journey very, very soon with the one, the only Johnny Simo. So we're looking forward to hearing when that's going to be.
Forward to that, yeah.
Forget what the name of the podcast is going to be. Something like Unwoke and Unapologetic. So that should be quite an interesting one. I think we know they're not going to take any prisoners on that. So, question 8: Tiddy and Shiner's home state of Oklahoma has what as its state vegetable?
Is it a common vegetable that we would know in England? Or have I got to go something a bit like a gourd or something?
I would say it is not a common vegetable.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know an aubergine.
No.
Is it a root vegetable?
It's not even a vegetable.
Is it a fruit?
It is a fruit. In my opinion, you could tell me I'm wrong.
Cucumber.
It isn't, but I'm going to give you that because it is the watermelon, which is a distant relative of the cucumber.
It's just a fat cucumber, isn't it?
It is a fat cucumber. It is. Have you ever tried cucumber with a little bit of sugar on it?
No.
You're banging on about this again.
I am.
You mentioned this before, dude. I haven't yet, but
Try it. It doesn't taste unlike watermelon.
oh no, who was it? It was who was it? Was it what is one of was it Todd or somebody in
Oh, no.
America?
Todd,
Or what am I thinking of?
Todd puts reload rub on his cucumbers. That sounds like a euphemism.
I'm sure. I'm sure they said like. Anyway, yeah. No, I haven't. Anyway, I'm sure that no, I haven't. So.
No, honestly, I promise you, it does taste eerily like it. Does it taste exactly the same? No, but it tastes similar. Okay, try it. But
Okay.
yeah, so the watermelon, because it, and for that reason, the guy declared because it was a distant relation of the cucumber that they therefore could have it as their state vegetable. So, Dave, I think you've earned a point on that one.
Yeah, although isn't a cucumber a fruit?
I don't know, dude.
Like a tomato.
Well, I tell you what,
It's
you've
got seeds in it. It's got seeds in it, so it's a fruit.
Yeah, you're probably right there. You're probably right.
Can I have another point?
Is that the definition of a fruit? It's got seeds in it.
Oh, the finger was on the button then.
Just give me a point. It's about 4-0 to me.
I don't think it is. Question number 9.
Is a plum a fruit?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got
a seed. It's got a stone.
It has got a stone, which is but that is its seed, though, isn't it?
I did say it was one.
No, it's a stone.
Yeah, but you plant that stone and it grows from it.
Yeah, it's a seed.
Yeah.
Okay. Do bananas have seeds?
Yeah.
Bananas are berries, though, aren't they? And they do have seeds in them. I'll tell you a fact about bananas as well.
Oh, here we go. You've got to go in.
The bananas you buy, the bananas you buy in the supermarket are seedless. They've got the little black bits where the seeds used to be, okay, but they're all cloned from the original batch because obviously they're seeds, you can't grow them. So it's a clone of that plant. So they all come from the same. I'm awarding myself a point for that. Well done. Yeah, so they all come from the same plant originally. So it doesn't matter which supermarket you go to either.
I'm going to have to think of a fruit now that hasn't got any seeds in it just to.
A Jaffa, I think we need to call it. So, here you are, guys. This is one for you because bear in mind, we just guessed it on Happy Hour. Where is Mordor?
Come on,
Middle Earth?
Where?
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth's fictional. So where's the actual Mordor? It's a real place.
Okay.
Africa. On Earth.
No. It is in the solar system. It is in the Milky Way.
Is it in Orion's belt?
To my knowledge, no.
Let's say it is Saturn.
No, it's in Charon, which is one of the moons that orbit Pluto.
I was going to say Pluto. Oh,
well, I'd give you a point for that. So yeah, it appears to the eye to be blood red anyway, which is why they decided to call it Mordor.
Just while we're on it, right, this is a really tenuous link now.
Go on.
But we were watching The Wheel with Michael McIntyre at the weekend, and do you know what the question was for him to win, like the basically jackpot? And they were talking about, the is it Saturn's spot or whatever it is, not Saturn's spot, like Pluto's ring or what black spot? What is it? He said, is it like a sea? Is it like a volcano? Is it storm or something else? And it's like, well, it's a storm, isn't it? It's just an ever perpetuating storm.
Jupiter.
Yeah. Jupiter, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And he got it right. And it's just like, but it was like a sea, a volcano, a storm, and I can't remember what the fourth answer was. And to be fair, this bloke went, well, it's a gas planet, so there's no sea and there's no this, and there's no volcano, so it's a storm. And he won like 98 grand or something. I was like, hell. Question like that. Yeah. I know. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
No, it's fine. Don't expect those kind of prizes for sending in your answers to Tall Boy Radio, though, just to be clear. Question number 10. As I'm reading this, I've got a funny feeling I'm actually reusing this question. I think we used it when we were taking on the designated quizzes the first time around, which, as a point of disclosure, Dave Gaz was not on. So what was the Canary Islands named after? Was it named? Oh, sorry, Canary Islands. Was it named after the bird, or was the bird named after the Canary Islands?
I'm gonna let Gaz go first because he needs the points.
I think the bird was named after the island.
Dave?
I think the island was named after the bird.
I told you it's like a shit version of QI. Neither are right.
But you said which one was it?
Yeah, and if you had any oomph about you, lad, if there was any spunk in you, you would have challenged me on that and said neither.
I didn't know it was that type of quiz.
It's always that type of quiz when I'm involved, young man. So yeah, Canary Eye, Insulae in Latin actually means Isle of Dogs. Not I love dogs. I do love dogs, but Isle of Dogs.
Okay.
So it's named after dogs, the island. There's nothing to do with a canary, which is not named after that as far as I know. Don't at me if it is.
You see this? You didn't mention the big trick questions in here. That's not.
Question number 11. Could this be a trick question? What can we do to repair the ozone layer?
I was having a conversation with the kids about this the other day. I can't remember what it was though, other than me not understanding science.
Oh, right.
Something like there is you can't because it isn't a layer.
I can give you a point. The point is, it actually doesn't need repairing. There is absolutely no need to repair the ozone layer because it repairs itself. And since we banned chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, it is no longer in danger. And in about 50 years, it should be fully repaired. That's good news, isn't it?
Yeah. But this is this is the conversation I was having with the kids, and they said, "Yeah, but it's not that's causing the planet to heat up." I can't remember what they said. I don't know.
Yeah, because back in the day, it was using loads of CFCs was polluting the ozone, which meant that it's deteriorating the ozone, which meant more of the sun's harmful rays are getting through the ozone, which meant that effectively, because it travels one way but not out the other way, it's like the greenhouse effect of when something comes, all the stuff comes in, but then can't release back into atmosphere, so just keep sort of perpetuating around in our atmosphere, hence why we're warming up. Sort of didn't quite get it, if I'm honest, but
Science for you there, folks. Science. All right. We've had science. Question number 12 is maths.
Just to say, I got that right again, didn't I? I got that one right again, that last one.
Yeah, you're on too. Well done.
Yeah. Did more than you, mate.
Listen,
yeah, absolutely.
I should tell you at this point, I haven't bothered keeping score, so it's just.
I have.
It's fun. At the end,
you know, Dave's got a little tick sheet at the end, and he's going to go out at the end and go, see, told you.
Yeah, this is after he accused you of cheating at the start.
I'm not cheating, he says, looking at his phone.
So here's a question then.
And I'm not cheating, I just automatically know that the Earth's circumference is 36,000 a mile, whatever it was, miles, whatever it was.
Indeed. So question number 12. Now, a bit of a novelty for Gaz, actually, this, because we've got someone on the podcast who's older than he is, which is absolutely not being the oldest. So, but we are all roughly the same age. So are we older or younger than the average age of someone on Earth right now? So the average age of Earth, of people on Earth, rather.
Are younger.
Older.
We are living in
we are.
Yeah, we're living in an aging generation.
Oh, I got it the wrong way around. Dave was right, actually, this one. The average age of someone on Earth right now is 32.
Yeah, told you we're older than waiting for babies.
I thought everyone was saying that it's an aging population and that everybody is getting older and therefore people living longer and therefore the average age is higher.
No, the average age is higher, but we are growing at a very, very rapid rate. So while we're on that subject, question number 14 or 13 even, I forget where we're on it. Just how fast is the population growing? This therefore might answer your question, Gaza. And it does kind of prove both points in one way or another.
It's not growing that fast. We've almost plateaued as a population on the planet. We're not far off plateauing.
Do you believe is that the case?
Yeah, because we're not having as many babies anymore.
Mm. And if you did have two babies, what relation would they be to each other?
Depends on if they got the same parents.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Yeah, okay. But if they shared one parent, there'll be some form of sibling. So yeah, so how fast is it going? So how many? In other words, how many people are dying every day, and how many people are being born every day?
There's more people being born every day than dying every day. So
That is correct.
It's not a big difference.
I think there is a 2% difference in the number of people being born compared to the number of people dying.
I go
2% more people.
I'll go 3% then.
At the moment, so as we speak, today, when today ends, 55.3 million people will perish, which is quite a large amount of people.
That's
I think we could agree to.
Yeah.
It really is quite a frightening statistic when you think about it. However, they will be replaced by 115 million babies.
So
Really?
3% was closer then.
Well, it was close. I'll give you that. Yeah, it was closer.
So
In other words, it was less wrong.
Did you say 53 million are going to die and they're replaced by 115?
Yeah, 55.3 replaced by 115. Yeah.
Every day?
Every day.
Wow.
I know, it's a lot, isn't it?
Oh, so people with shit maths might actually say the population is almost doubling, but actually that is not.
No, that. Someone with very shit maths would say that.
That's right. Okay. What's the population of the planet then? About 3 billion, is it? Something like that?
6.5 billion.
6.5 billion, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's over 7, isn't it?
Oh, maybe it's growing a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we know that it is.
50 million new people every day. That's that.
Yeah. Right. This is a question that's going to bamboozle you now. Okay.
8 billion people, by the way.
8 billion.
There you go.
We want to get the facts right for our listeners.
This just in. So
Dave's on his computer.
Yeah, Dave's on his computer again after accusing Gaz at the very start.
But the difference is, I'm only doing it after the answers have been given.
Well, if you get this one right, I might get suspicious. So, question number 14. How many people do you have to have in a room before there's a better than 50% chance that two of them share the same birthday? Now, there's a thinker.
Oh, I know this. It's quite low.
How many people in a room?
Yeah.
The maths is it's like
365 days in a year, so 365 birthdays. Let's forget leap years for this.
Yeah, but then the maths goes something like 1 in 365, then 2 in 180, then 3 in 90, 4 in 45, and it gets quite small quite quick, and it's something like 25 or something.
I'm going to give him that one because 23 is the answer. That's pretty close for the man who doesn't Google stuff.
Yeah, that's impressive, Dave.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's quite right. And actually, he was quite close with his explanation of it as well. So if you're in the room with somebody else, so say you yourself and Dave, ignoring the fact that you're born on the 7th and the 7th and the 5th and the 5th, there is a 1 in 365 chance that you're going to share a birthday if you're just in the room with a stranger. So obviously there's a 364 out of 365 chance that you have different birthdays. You bring another person in and you multiply that by 363 out of 365, and that goes on and on and on until the point where there's 23 people in the room where there is a better than 50% chance two people share the same birthday. That's bizarre, and it's called the birthday paradox.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of that before?
Because you would assume that again, shit.
You need 180.
182. Yeah, that you would need effectively half of the year to make sure that then you've got a better than 50% chance. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Just if you think about that in terms of, say, Facebook, for example. So you have, 500 friends on your Facebook page, yeah? So there's going to be days where it's just 1 or 2, but some days you're looking through, you wish 6 or 7 people a happy birthday. So the odds of that, when you think about it, is kind of
Yeah.
down to that paradox, I suppose.
Yeah.
Although if there's 500 people in a room, you pretty much guarantee bang on the two of them the same birthday. Question 15. How long does it take a pot of honey to expire?
Pot of honey to expire. Pot of honey. Is the lid still on?
The lid is, well, it can be on or off. I'll let you decide.
What's expire mean?
Go off, go bad.
Right, okay. It probably doesn't. It just turns into something else. It just crystallizes.
It will crystallize on top. But no, you're quite right. Honey does not go off. Do you know why?
Because
it's basically oil, isn't it? I suppose. Very similar.
it's something to do with the chemistry of it. Molecular oxidize. It doesn't oxidize or something. Doesn't include.
You're very close there. Actually, it is a perfect chemical composition in terms of nothing can live inside of it. So if nothing can live inside it, which includes bacteria, it means it cannot spoil. Yes, it might crystallize on top when you leave the lid off. However, the actual product itself, it will not go off. It is a perfect chemical composition because you can't get bacteria growing inside it, or you can't have an earthworm in there. It won't live in there.
And that's why bees have been around for millions of years, isn't it?
I'm not sure that is why necessarily bees have been around for millions of years necessarily. It's a bold statement and I like it.
Well, they're never getting hungry, are they?
Well, no, they're not, but they are. In bees, we know, are getting a little bit endangered while we're on the old whatever you call it, trail, looking after things.
Eco-friendly.
Yeah, eco-friendly, that's the phrase. I was thinking economical, but that's not right. Killing bees.
But didn't they say that? Again, something sticks in my mind. Bees are. Didn't they say? And I'm paraphrasing. If we don't have bees, then the earth goes to rat shit. Because bees basically, and obviously that they didn't actually say that, but I'm sure they said that because they like the mass pollinators and stuff, and therefore, without them.
That's right. Have you seen Bee Movie?
I've seen a few bee movies, but I'm not sure.
I was going to say, seen a few bee movies, yeah.
You never watched it with the kids? Bee Movie. It's a good movie.
No, I've not seen that one.
It's all about that. Flowers, all the flowers die.
Sounds what
okay. I'm sure
the bees go on strike.
To do with, something to they're the mass pollinators and stuff, and without them, then Earth goes to rat shit because you don't get different things moving across areas, and they don't get pollinated in different places, and therefore life doesn't perpetuate or something. I'm sure I read that somewhere, but.
Science and nature. Tallboy Radio. Get it here.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right here on Tallboy Radio.
What I will say, actually, just as a point of interjecting, I said at the start this beer wasn't great. I've got to be honest, it's actually not too bad. It's hoppier than I remember. I'm actually quite enjoying it, so I apologise. So, Salt, if you started listening and turned off in disgust, tune back in. Enjoyed it. Who has won the most Oscars? Question number 16.
Oh, dear.
After person. Okay.
I am.
Does it include ones that were taken away after?
Don't know that they've lost any.
Okay. I'm going to go for that composer fella, John, what's his name, who did all the Star Wars music.
John Williams?
Yeah.
John Williams.
Oh.
Right.
More prolific than him. Do you want to know how many he won?
Yeah.
26.
Charlie Chaplin.
No. It
He
can't.
was nominated 59 times.
Okay. Right.
Did you say he then?
I did.
Yeah. It
was a
did.
faux
Yeah.
pas.
Don't think it's an actor. It must be.
That's why I went for the composer, because actor's the obvious answer.
Filmmaker or
Director, Spielberg.
Howard Shore.
Walt Disney. You're on the right path.
Yeah.
You're on the right path. Yeah, 26 Oscars. That's not a bad little haul, is it?
Wow.
All right.
Do you actually know what? It might sound obvious. Do you actually know what he got them for?
Mainly cartoons.
Was it screenplays or directing or what?
I genuinely don't know. There's not.
That was more the lines I was going down, Dave.
Yeah,
as opposed to
You certainly
Mickey
know
Mouse
Stephen.
or whatever.
Yeah. Some Mickey Mouse cartoons he used to do.
You're no Stephen Fry, are you, Adam?
I am no Stephen Fry. No, I am no Stephen Fry. And Stephen Fry will rest easy in his bed tonight, knowing that.
The first sort of explanation of the answer. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, well, he doesn't know. He gets people. He's got owls asking, working out the answers for him. He said it himself.
Fair enough.
So, that's a bit of a reverb. Is Tallboy Radio the home of ultra-crepidarians?
Ultra-crepidarians.
Yes.
No.
Do you know what an ultra-crepidarian is?
It's
Somebody that fears something.
Well, Gaz is right. No, an ultra-crepidarian is someone who voices opinion beyond an area that is beyond their expertise. So I think we prove categorically tonight that is the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That must be pretty much everybody, though.
Well, I don't know. Some people.
Or does it mean you pretend that you do know when you don't?
And well, I think it's people who are. Yeah, I guess it's a grey area, isn't it?
Yeah, because anytime you answer a question about anything, have an opinion, that would make you one of those ultra-crepidarians.
That's it, yeah. So either way, we're definitely the home of ultra-crepidarians. So I was right to award the point to Gaz. Question 18, and this is going to seem like it's geared straight for Gaza as well, actually.
Oh, it's a fix.
Which NFL team
Great.
is the only one to have a plant for its logo?
Can I just start shouting them out and hope I get it before Gaz?
I'll just think of them.
Yeah.
I'll think of it.
Green Bay Packers. Philadelphia cheese.
Well, that's the Eagles.
Eagles.
Last time I checked, the Eagle is not a plant.
Oh, okay. On that basis, I'm not going to go for Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you could be insulting a lot of people there, dude. They've got quite a large fan base.
That's about the extent of my American football knowledge.
It's a tough one. I must admit, I read it and went, it kind of makes sense, but I wouldn't have got it.
San Francisco Raiders. What are they?
Well, the San Francisco with the 49, and that's named after the gold rush of 1849 in that area.
Right. Oh, Gaz froze, or was he really thinking hard?
I think he's froze actually.
It does look like he's thinking quite hard.
He's back. He's back.
I'm assuming I'll know who it is, Ad.
There's only 32 teams. Are there any, are there any of those 32 you haven't heard of?
No.
Then yes, you will know it is.
The Steelers.
No, the Steelers are named after metal artists for the most part. The steel, obviously.
Boston Red Sox. Is that baseball?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do we get a point for that?
No, you don't.
Baseball.
You don't for knowing that socks are a flower. No.
Does Boston have an NFL team?
No, they don't. They have there's the New England Patriots, which is in that area. No, before you say Patriots, not flowers.
Saints. What's the Saints?
It is, yeah. It's the fleur de lis. So, if you're familiar with sort of French royalty, which obviously Louisiana was once owned by the French, obviously hence the name Louisiana, King Louis of France. The fleur de lis, which is on the helmet, is actually a stylized lily.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
And we should read nothing into Gaz freezing for 15 seconds, then coming back with the right answer.
Don't know, he's frozen in that mode now, and that's the screenshot I'm going to use for the promo when we stick it out on. Or that one. There's some good ones coming through. So, question number 19. This could be your opportunity here now, Dave, to win back some points if Gaz has indeed frozen in his very Frodo-like pose.
I'm already in front anyway.
Well, yeah. How many different words feature in Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham?
Is that a book or an animation?
Well, both technically, I suppose, but it was originally a book by Dr. Seuss.
Number of words or different words?
Different words.
It's probably really low, isn't it? Or is it one of those that's really high? 28.
It is. It's more than that.
48.
I'll give you that. It's actually 50.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, it's 50. And the reason why it's 50 is because his editor, Theodore Gassel, bet him, and I probably pronounced his name horribly wrong, and I apologise for that, bet him that he couldn't do it. Bet him he couldn't write a book using 50 words. Are you familiar with Dr. Seuss?
Is he the stripy guy? Or is that something else?
Stripey.
Is he red and white?
Dr. Seuss was an author. Dr. Seuss is the author. Okay.
Is there a cat? Is there a cat in it?
There's the Cat in the Hat. Is probably the most famous one. Who did have a stripy hat.
There we go. Then that's the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he wrote a number of books. I'll be honest with you. I love them, and I read them all to Matilda when she was in the womb, and she, interestingly enough, is a big fan of them now.
Ah.
She loves, especially like I say there, the Cat in the Hat. She loves Green Eggs and Ham, and she loves all that kind of stuff. To be honest with you, so let's see if we can get Gaz back on the call now for the last question. I suspect he's been Googling while he's been away.
Yeah, well, he can't pull back 4 points in the last round, can he?
Well, possibly not. So we'll see. So the last question then is going to be about The Simpsons. Actually, Gaz, you will have missed this last question, so we'll quickly answer it. You got 30 seconds. We've got 30 seconds to answer this question.
Yeah.
Quick answer. How many different words feature in Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham?
58.
You can tell him to go lower and then see if he gets closer than me.
Go on, go lower.
41.
Oh, unlucky.
Dave was close with 48. It was 50. Anyway, the final question, while we've still got internet connection for Gareth, and it's about The Simpsons. So, if The Simpsons age normally, how old would Bart Simpson be right now?
44.
It's not right, but it's close enough. 42.
Oh, that's pretty close.
So he was 10 when it first started, 32 years ago. So Bart Simpson should be 42.
Yeah, I thought he was 12 when he started.
No, 10. He's a 10-year-old boy.
What would be interesting is how old he would be if you took into account every day. If so, either it fits an episode during a day, and then there's a night, and then there's a day, and then there's a night, and then you look at actually within the cartoon how old he'd be, because he must be about 100 or something by now. But
so it was real life. So it was real. If you did back-to-back episodes, it was real life.
Yeah.
Listeners,
yeah, that's a question. Would it be more or less?
I don't know. It's got to be more, surely.
Well, there's what, 30 episodes in a season, 28 episodes in a season, something like that. And I don't know. I don't really care either, to be honest with you. But if you do know, guess what? Let us know. So that brings us to a close. Have you enjoyed that? Did you enjoy that little bit of a quiz?
Oh, I love a good quiz.
I love a quiz, especially when I win.
He's an optimist. He is. He's an optimist. That's why we love him. So that brings us to a close. What we're doing at the moment, just to let our listeners in behind the microphone, we are recording a couple of episodes a night at the moment when we're recording. Well, I say a night, I mean a week, obviously, because we can always take Christmas off. So if you're going to wonder why Dave is the last guest that you're going to see this side of the new year, well, God damn you, you're blessed to have him anyway. But that is the reason why. It's just easier to do it logistically. Well, don't you worry, we've got guests lined up for the new year, and we've got other stuff lined up for the new year in between. So, folks, thank you for listening is what I'm going to say. Thank you for indulging in this level of stupidity when we asked what the fudge. But, Gaz, Dave, have you got any questions for me then before we go?
The only question I have, and it relates to a couple of those certificates behind you on the wall.
Yes.
When's the next one, dude?
When's the next one? We need to pull our fingers out because the plan was originally to do it in October. And I've had a few messages off Mr. Mark Weaver saying, come on, let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
So the plan is we're going to, as we've stated on here a few times, aren't we? We're going to raise some money to get Radway Club in Allsage kitted out so that disabled darts players can play in there. And then we're going to hold a tournament, get some prize money up for grabs where disabled players can play against able-bodied players, and everybody can just celebrate the fact that our differences make us more the same. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to raise some money by having another go at a Guinness World Record. So at the same time as doing some good, we can indulge our egos and get another certificate on the wall here behind me. But yeah, the plan is, I think Gaz and I are going to get our heads together and get something organised over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
And we're going to get something sorted, I would suggest, from mid to late February.
Yeah. That sounds good. Sort of relatively early. I had a couple of lads, obviously, on our darts team that were asking, because originally, as I said, it was going to be October, and they were like, oh, yeah, bang up for it, and we'll definitely do it. And, quite a few of the lads that did the last one. So we know we've got the interest there in terms of actually completing it.
Definitely.
I think we just need to, and I know Radway are putting in various things in terms of disabled toilet facilities and that, and I think that's sort of almost completed now. So, if we can get it done, then hopefully we can be able to hold a tournament in there sort of sooner or later. So yeah,
I think that's the plan. So if we can get the Guinness World Record started and kicked off and done in February, and then we can look maybe in the summertime at getting some form of tournament in there. Obviously, the challenge has been is getting all the players together. 8 people with very, very sort of busy lives. Well, 7. I don't do a great deal, but the other people are quite busy. We will get that sorted for you folks. We've talked about it. We promised it. It's actually over a year, Gaza, since we went up to the Disabled Darts World Cup. Yeah, it was September 2021 when we went up, and we went up to Scotland. And
what a good weekend that was.
It was a belter, absolute belter. Let's gloss over the people getting lost on trains, but move on quickly before we go down that dodgy route. Dave, any questions?
Just a quick one. I haven't got time to talk about it. Just a quick one. Who's top of the Premiership at the moment?
Arsenal, the mighty Arsenal, top of the Premiership.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Is it going to last? Is it going to last?
No, I don't think so. If I'm really honest, I should be more.
City aren't doing mint though. City
no, I just
wobble, but.
They are, but I just feel they've got a little bit more strength and depth in their squad that when we sort of hit those winter months, we've got a few World Cup hangovers, which everybody's going to have. I just feel we might end up getting pipped to the post. But for me, it's more important that we are competing for it. And actually, I still say we've got a realistic chance of winning it, but I am not getting carried away just yet. But thank you for asking that question. So, I hope you've enjoyed this one, folks. A little bit different. We like to do a few fun episodes on the build up to the C word, Christmas. That is, Dave, before you chirp in. And this, indeed, I believe, was one of them. So, if you guys want to say your goodbyes.
Yeah, really enjoyed it tonight, guys. I apologise if there was a little bit of an internet issue, sort of 3/4 of the way through, give or take. I always love the random sort of episodes where Ad sort of puts his thinking hat on and thinks, right, I'm going to just do a few sort of random questions and a few what the fudges. It's great to have Dave on. Me and Adam have said before, we love having guests on our podcast. So Dave sort of stepped in again, and he isn't really a guest, as he's sort of a host almost now. So loved having Dave on, and look forward to the next time.
Indeed, Dave. And if you want to join us anytime over the next couple of weeks, we're recording 2 a week for the next 2 weeks, and then one the week after in mid-December. If you want to join us for one of those episodes, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I may well do. Yeah, thanks. It's good. It's good to get on. Good to have a laugh. Good to demonstrate my vast knowledge of all things. No, it's good. Good
see, if you'd have said that without laughing or with a straight face, it'd have been believable. But
that's it.
I don't. My brain doesn't have space for trivia, unfortunately, as you well know.
It doesn't have space for an awful lot in my experience. Not a lot seems to get stored there. And on that bombshell, thank you for listening and goodbye.